If you're a music producer, musician, or artist in general, you've most likely dealt with creative block or writer's block. Over the next couple minutes, I want to show you 5 ways to help you overcome this frustrating but inevitable situation. I do think it's important to understand that creative block is a complex monster. What works for one person might not work for another. And that's why my number one goal for this video is to help find a solution that works for you. I'm going to be throwing out several different suggestions, but I have a simple and effective way to help you find the one that's going to work and fit you best. So make sure you stick around, there's more on that to come. For those that don't know, my name is Zach and I help run a program called Cosmic Academy. We're an artist development school that's been around for over 10 years and we've worked with 650 incredible artists. They use these techniques we're about to talk to, and they play some of the biggest festivals and shows like EDC, Ultra, they play in Ibiza. They also sign their music to some of the biggest labels like Spinnin', Armada, Monstercat, Drumcode, and even these students I mentioned who are performing at the highest levels, they still deal with creative block. And that's what I want to touch on before we start talking solutions. It's the fact that no matter how long you continue to produce music or write songs, you're going to deal with creative block and writer's block. It never goes away. It's just part of the process. And the quicker we can accept that fact, the quicker we can move on and learn how to deal with it. We need to first shift our mindset and attitude towards it before we can conquer it. So right now, as I look you in the eyes, are we cool? Do we understand that creative block is just part of this process and we can't eliminate it? It will always be there. But do we also understand that we can reduce how often it occurs? We can shorten how long it lasts. And we can turn a once frustrating situation into something that we can actually look forward to because it allows us to do things we never typically get to do. And that leads me to the actual list. So let's talk about 5 ways we can overcome creative block, and let's find the one that specifically works for you. Do me a quick favor before we get started. Hit the thumbs up on this video, hit that like, it helps it reach more people, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, to find the one that works best for you, we need to start thinking about all future creative blocks as an opportunity and an experiment. Truthfully, you're going to learn by trying here. That's why I want to give you several options, several choices, so you can try, and see which ones resonate with you the most. Now, before I get into number 2, which is my own personal favorite, I think we start off the list with number 1, the obvious but important one. Take a break. Sometimes the best thing you could do is just step away. It's okay. Music will always be there for you when you return. What you could do is just set a time length and stick to it. So if you say, I'm going to start by giving myself 5 days, wait those 5 days. And if day 4 and day 5, you're itching to get back, all the better. When you go back now, you're fully inspired, you're revved up, you're ready to go again. And then on the flip side, if you reach that time length and you're still not feeling it, take more time. It's okay to take a break. Burnout is a real thing, and if that's what you're dealing with, it doesn't hurt to step away. You'll be that much more productive when you come back. Now, during the break, you can also surround yourself by other things that can help inspire you. It could be other forms of art like photography, film and movies, painting. Go socialize with other people. You could be inspired by your friends or other people that are out there. But I think that's important. When you're taking your break, don't just sit in a dark room by yourself. Get out there. Expose yourself to new and different things, and that should somehow re-energize you so that when you get back to music, you're feeling much better. All right, so for number 2 on the list of 5 ways we can overcome creative block, I want to talk about change your routine. This is my personal favorite, and honestly, the one that tends to work with most people, most of the students I recommend this to. This works really well. So you want to change up your routine and rules. What I mean by this is, oftentimes you hit creative block because you're no longer allowing yourself to technically be creative. You're doing the same routine every time. You sit down in the same place, make the same song, write the same chord progression in the same BPM, in the same genre. Where's the creativity in that? So what we could do is flip this and change up our routine. So for example, if you work on a laptop, maybe change where you produce from. Instead of sitting in the studio, go sit outside and create music. Fresh perspective, all new ideas. Other things you can do is force yourself to write in a BPM you are completely uncomfortable and you never write in that BPM. Or if you always start and like to write your songs with a melody and chords, maybe this time you start with drums. The goal is to break the routine. The goal is not to create a song that you can sign and do something with. The ultimate victory here is getting you to think outside the box. Go back to forcing yourself to be creative to solve problems rather than falling on the routine, falling on what's comfortable, falling on what you always typically do. You could always try something like this first, then take a break. Before I even go further, the fact you're here watching this video is also a great opportunity for you to help other people as well. So drop a comment, let us know what's worked for you in the past. But let's move on to number 3, and this is a prime example of one that works wonders for certain people, but doesn't really hit home with others, and that is to literally write through writer's block. What I mean by this is you're gonna spend the next couple of days just writing ideas, and they can be dog shit ideas. They don't have to be good. You're literally aiming for quantity. So choose a number. Maybe it's, I'm gonna write 30 song ideas. They can be rough, they can be raw. You don't have to worry so much about the sound design. Just write. Then when you're done, you can put all 30 songs, let's say, into a playlist, a private playlist that you can listen to. Go through them all and find which one stands out from the crowd. One of them will be better than the other 29. Now, all of a sudden, through quantity, you found quality. And what's so interesting about this is going in, understanding that I'm not trying to write a hit. I'm not trying to write 30 hits. I'm just getting ideas out. You sort of like flush yourself of that burden of I have to write something good. And it's almost like because you let your guard down, you're not aiming for quality when you're writing these 30 ideas, you're just writing anything that comes to you. Quality finds its way. It shows up. And you might even find that you have 3 or 4 really good ideas in here that become your next 3 or 4 songs. So it's a mindset shift of not focusing on quality, focusing on the large number, 30 song ideas, and then going back through and finding the quality in there. And I promise you, there will always be quality in that group. Before we finish the list with the 5th and final one, which I also think is the most fun by far, I'm gonna give you number 4, and that's stop listening to the music that you make. This is just a temporary thing, but give yourself maybe a day, 2 days, and go listen to music outside of your genre. This sort of falls back into that like repetition of your process is the same over and over and over. You're thinking one way, you're thinking within the lines of your genre. Go listen to other types of music. So if you're producing electronic music, go listen to rock, go listen to pop, go listen to country, go listen to different types of music, even if you don't like it, because you can still pull from them and appreciate certain parts of it. And I think that's a really good exercise in general, is like go listen to an artist that you don't like, but many people do, or a type of music that you don't like, but many people do. One of the things I always find when I do this is I probably just haven't given enough time to understand or appreciate that type of music. And even if I'm not fully in love with what they're doing, there's always things I can pull from them or from that type of music that can translate into my own stuff. And especially if it's successful, if you know it works, you know it resonates with other people, there's definitely gold in there. It's just finding what that is. So break up your routine with what you listen to and give yourself some fresh perspective, give yourself some new opportunities of things you can incorporate into your own music. Now for the 5th and final way to overcome creative block, and easily the most fun, go collaborate with someone else. Working with someone else and seeing their process, forcing yourself to have to bend the way you work to work with someone else is an immediate way of thinking outside the box. And I'll even give you a really cool way to collaborate and get one started. Send someone else your unfinished ideas. Remember when you had that great song, but you weren't able to finish it? You couldn't figure out those final pieces it was needed? Put a bunch of those songs in a playlist, send it to a buddy, send it to a friend, send it to another producer. Let them pick whichever one they want to work on, and then they get started on that. Have them do the same to you, send you their unfinished music, you sift through, see which one you connect with, and you start to work on that. This is going to force you to start thinking outside of your comfort zone. And as you begin to get into each other's projects, see how each other work, the different sound sets, this is going to make you think in a completely different way. And you can do this in person collaboration. You could do this through Zoom even. Zoom is an amazing collaborative tool because you could share your screen, you could share the audio, you could both sit there, see each other, speak to each other, but collaborate. Working with others is the quickest way to learn new ways to do shit, to be inspired, to see the other side of the coin. So just to recap, we went over a couple ways to overcome creative block and writer's block, but now is the time to put it to the test. Now you need to begin experimenting and see which ones work best for you. This is going to take time, but you're going to find a few of these really worked well for you, and you can start to rely on them when creative block pops up. And no longer will creative block be this thing that you are frustrated by or scared of. You just understand, okay, it's here, let's deal with it. And truthfully, because a lot of what we just went over is going to make you do things you normally don't get to do, I think it's fun. Creative block can become a fun thing because you get to break your routine. It's an opportunity for you to step away. So shift your mindset. Remember that creative block isn't going anywhere. We can't eliminate it, but we definitely can learn how to deal with it and overcome it when it does pop up. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate you hitting that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel, and I can't wait to catch you in the next video. See ya.